Starting with I can't remember what team it's called. Um, Basically, it's Decoy's team, or Decoy and Unga, I suppose. That's how I define it. Malinovka was really YOLO-y, and we played like idiots the first match, so we had to learn as we went. Like, we sort of, we were sort of split on whether they were just all going to YOLO heal, even though the lineup was 3 machines and 2 CSs, or whether they'd, do something else with the CSs. And when I spot the machines, I don't fire because I'm like, I don't want to get lit. I don't know if they're the CSs really. And yeah, like in hindsight, I should have clipped him. Should have just clipped a machine or something. Would have been way better. I don't see where their CSs are. I think they literally went hill first. Like they just went uphill. Yeah, no surprise. The moment we saw the cap timer go and we saw the machine here, it's like, oh, okay. They're mostly they're all up there basically. So we pushed the mediums around and like it. This player also lost comms, which is a bit awkward because we tried telling him to do stuff and nothing really happened from that. He just had to play from his own like guessing. We also kind of realised that 260 is probably not the best thing to be playing on hill. Shocking, right? Like, hindsight, this is pretty basic. And then, they just YOLO, like, 2 tanks out for free. Like, well, maybe we can do something, maybe we can get the clips off, because they survive surprisingly long, But they get set on fire, so... So that, I thought I was emotional, but it's tanks were slow. Like, well, they've got 2 shots, so maybe, but it's sort of like a pointless fight. It's like we lost 2 tanks for free. We went round and already reloaded. They would have got guns on us. They're brain dead. But we really didn't have a plan. Like, we're like, oh, it's Malinovka, and yeah, we just sort of forgot. He just sort of delays the match. Like, nothing of value happens here. High pitched sound from the wing. Love that. Yeah. First match went kind of awful. Just it was like, okay, yeah. Turns out, when you send 2 tanks up to die and everyone else just sort of doesn't get there in time, you have like death. Like, okay, cool. Very, very intelligent. Don't know why it took us a game to learn that. And no one was really calling it. It was just a case of like, oh yeah, we should probably do something like that. Like, some of our guys watched it because they were like, what do we even do? I honestly forget the team name that we fought against. But a mixture of Gambit and Decoy in general. Oh yeah, then we fight NX, who had a bad time. Oh yeah, Fubu! Oh yeah, this is Fubu 2. That's right, this is Fubu 2. No surprise really, we just basically all YOLO here, apart from this one CS who... He goes over here, and... This is mainly to see if we can spot them cross when they cross up here, and we do. We light, I think it's the second CS. Yep, here he is, and 2 machines. Don't know if he gets a shot off. No. They get there first, but mainly because we're stacking. CS turrets are incredibly trolling. You get 2 into the CS, on like the weirdest corner of his turret. And this guy comes at me and, you know, easy damage. Yeah, Red sort of like he was went over the wrong side and oh nice. They've got all, 2 shots, they've got a guy who's on half HP, another guy who's eating around, and then this machine here who's pretty much, yeah, and they don't know what to do. When they get flanked by Zap here, they're just like, oh, okay, there's a guy below us, and, these guys are pushing on us, what do we do? For some reason they decided to push onto this, which, they quickly abandoned that, but it didn't work well for them, because now they're pincered here. And I think these 2 machines on reload as well. This guy gets fucked by Zap in a second, I think. Or the other machine does. Yeah, because of that, and then that was a random low roll as well. I think I start like penning this guy again, and I have issue penning his turret because I get like the full turret to put some weird corner. And then boom. Really awkward dealing with that. Hi. My microphone being cancelled. I have no idea if the microphone has been cancelled or not. It's great. Working with the worst fucking tools known to man. Alright, cool. We all know that this is probably going to crash, isn't it? Actually, I managed to back out of there, so maybe it won't. Oh wait, it's still doing loading screen shit. Yeah, no. We played 1 game against Fubu that was no damage dealt pretty much. So I skipped that game because I can spirit summarize what happened. We took the north of Westfield. They took the rest of Westfield, like the whole just other end of the map, and they continuously tried to cap out and failed, and we continuously tried to shoot them and failed, and that was that for 10 minutes because it was one light thing that would drive into the cap circle in Westfield, and then he'd just sort of run away again, and it was like cool, what dynamic gameplay, because obviously we can't overpeak, because if we get lit, because we had no light tanks, we had Batchat CS, I think it was, and then like Cran Van and like a machine or 2, I can't remember the exact loadout, but it was basically that, and it had no vision really, like you could have Batchat's passive spot, but you couldn't have anything active. So we just had one guy denying them from capping, and like, yeah, like the match was so nullified, it was like, okay, the one I want. I think this match, it might have been the next match actually that went insane. But this match was basically, so because they went south, because they went on the outside of Westfield, the right side and the bottom of the map, basically, the whole outer area, here, and they just played that the entire time. We were like, fuck it, we're just gonna YOLO them, because it was such a boring 10 minutes of just waiting up here, and like, we had one bat here, we had a CS here, we had, Cran Van and Machine hiding around here just waiting for something to happen. We had a CS who was on the cap here, just preventing them from capping essentially in a nice safe position. And we were like, right, this is boring. So instead we're like, you know, we'll just fucking YOLO. When we try and out-YOLO them into the same position. Which... I think the CS to our right gets spotted here, or... No, he doesn't. The guy's behind him or something like that. I'd go for this camo, because obviously why wouldn't you? Like, just extra camo for us. Oh yeah, Sap takes a shot, and he gets that. Not to go a short while. Like, we try and focus the CS, and then it goes really badly. Like, I fuck up there because I overslide on the thing. I just eat two in return. And then, yeah, they're all there then. Well, that's fine, because the initial trip was really weird, but it worked. We got our machine in here. He lost a lot of HP for it, though. And we have one guy at the back in a cran van, which worked in our favour. Oh my god. Wargaming, please design a system that isn't shit for switching things. The T100 comes in and... Cool. Like, okay T100, you know? Zab gets taken out by that mess, but you know, Wiz is still alive. We've still got a fully loaded cran van here. And T100 decides to YOLO in, because why not, right? I guess, like, only a two-shot. Yeah, the two-shot, one-shot, and then, I'm not too sure what the other guy is, because apparently it's really awkward. Yeah, full HP, basically. It actually gets played quite a bit here, but not really the easiest to deal with. Badcheck comes in full HP, kills Wizard, but that's fine because, you know, whatever. He takes out T100. There we go, and that Badcheck can't do shit now. He's just out there like, oh, hi, and both of these two are reloading now. But the cran van's got all the HP. Like, he hasn't even taken a shot because he's been in the back the entire time. And yeah, it's just, you know, he gets here, first round out after reloading, second round out hits him, shooting on the move. Okay. It could have been cleaner, but this was, you know, it was good enough. Just a bit messy. Because the machine ate, like, maybe if the machine had stayed back instead, he wouldn't have been so badly then, but then we would have just lost the guys in here, I guess. Yeah. It's a mess, and maybe if I didn't eat two shots to start, because I slid down the Batchat machine, CS, Grand Van, blah blah blah, and you know, they had a lot of questionable plays, a lot. We do the same thing essentially. We YOLO, you know, that corner because we're just like, okay, sure, we'll YOLO this corner and just because it worked last time, and we didn't want to just end up in no situation where it's like, oh, it's a turtle. Show some nurse perspective because they don't push this time. Last time they pushed straight in. This time they're like, oh, you know, we won't. I don't know. There's nothing much I can say though. It's just like, oh, you know, we won't fully commit that. Names above tanks would be fantastic. Like, I get that it's like trying to be, you know, like first person or like action thing, but whatever. Yeah, the 200 gets lit by the way, like a lot because he does the same rotation like 4 times. You know, straight into a bush, gets lit, drives down a hill, straight line, like rinse and repeat, like 4 or 5 times maybe. Okay, I'm not too sure about that. I accept it, whatever. The heavies get fucked here as well. I should point out, like, these guys heavies here, they get fucked. Because I don't know why they, like, you know, they could have just, I don't know, like, they could have just, like, sat there, basically, or something, and just, just tried not to get shot by, you know, the guys on the right, and just farm by the 200 maybe, I don't know. Because there was more bleed than needed to be happening. You know, we got 3 mediums stuck in here. These 2 heavies can't move. just because they're pinned. You know, they go this way, they get shot by mediums. They go that way, they get shot by mediums. they're just stuck there. The light tank does the same stupid off a hill, you know, drive as usual. I don't know why he's there. I just know that it doesn't work out for him. I just know because yeah. I think for about 5 minutes, this just becomes a case of like, oh, you know, like, oh yeah, we rotate our heavies out just to try and get them to stop bleeding everything, you know. And it sort of works. Why is this such a buggy map system? There's so many like things wrong with this map system. But yeah, there we go. I guess it's a radio issue. Just, you guys are like, ah, oh, this is a bad idea. I'm like, yeah, well, we didn't have any good ideas. The 200 is taken around as well. Like, he's done the same thing like 4 times, so people just shot him at this point. It's about 6 minutes, about 5 minutes. They start stacking up because they're going to go YOLO this because they're like, oh, we have an overmatch. Shocker. And I get fucked. I just... It's one of those things where it's like, okay, minding your own business. And then boom, like... Like, they come in, I get rammed by a CS. Because I'm sad that, like, I'll get the batch out, and I'll get the 200 out, because he's just in the open, he's half HP, boom, dead. Boom. 543 in the side. Wizard makes this play where he YOLOs around the other side, because obviously we've got the heavies are back there, and a medium. So they have to allow, like, this guy's rotated the worst time possible, so he just gets shot in the side all the time. These guys are like, oh, he's fired, you know, he's fired. So they do what everyone who apparently has no idea what they're doing, just like, they're just like, oh man, we should probably YOLO this guy, right? You know, I was waiting for the perfect opportunity to YOLO the guy like that. Meanwhile, the machine is getting just farmed for being in the worst position possible. You guys YOLO Wizard, but guess what? They lose so much HP for this. It's really just like boom, boom, boom. This guy's a one-shot, you know? This guy 449. You know, this guy, the thing with CS didn't get touched. Yeah, he got... Yeah, there we go, he get blind fired afterwards. This guy's like nothing. This guy's nothing. The machine in mid, he's not healthy either. You know, he's been shot in the side 3 times now. Kind of a terrible play. Just kind of. It's weird, just 5v5 is really YOLO-y and then really campy. Like, if you don't, if not everyone dies, like not enough people die in the first initial YOLO, it's like, ah, okay, great, now we're back to like, what do we do now? And what happened now was this sort of camp situation, where we're like, okay, well we'll move people on cap, and, you know, they'll put people on cap, and have a little stare off, trying to figure out what we're going to do. Because, you know, if we know that there's one guy on cap, okay, cool, then where's the other 2? Probably rotating.
Focus on this area. The track is damaged.
Yeah, this was not a good position for him, but... Because, you know, they try and get a batch over to here, and I'm like, you know, we're aware of this AB line. And he's like, no, I don't know where I'm going. I'm like, okay, fair enough. LCS is scouting about the map as much as he can, basically. The full 10 minutes are used, you know. Oh yeah, the fucking... From this, the machine is peeking up on the ridge over here. Like you would do in a pub match, you know, he's just trying to use some hold down position, I guess, to get shots into the cap from a different angle, and it's all for nothing because he has no shots. The Batchat has managed to, well, the CS has managed to crawl up here, so he's going to kill Rad in a second. He'll put a shot into him, and then Rad will try to run, but guess what? You know, where are you going to run to? Our CS, in the meantime, we make the sort of call, like, well, we don't make the call, but like, you know, we make the suggestion. You know, CS can go down here. Cranvan can then sort of like force that as well. Cranvan is nearby, you know.
Focus attention here. One of our tracks is damaged.
You got the one-shot Batchat who's trying to put shots in. And of course, they just YOLO this because this is like, you know, kill the one-shot. The CS is alone with Rad, who's going to get killed in a second because, as I mentioned previously, I don't know why that keeps doing that. Yeah, here's it, turns around terribly. With shot, dead. And they can't cap out, so you know, we basically push the bat. Ew. Oh yeah, shit, the Batchat. What happened was the Cranvan, well, most of the time, but basically like, the Batchat tried to go this way. Like, he must have gone off the hill and then... Oh, well, like, yeah, because we did tell the Cranvan, you know, look down the hill in case the CS comes or whatever. You know, maybe we can win them damage if the Batchat doesn't decide to do his shit. But Batchat YOLOs in and dies, because, of course. Draw, but we win damage and kills, so... That was the win against Fubu 2. We won Fubu 2 on Westfield, because we won one side of Malinovka, which was pretty simple. Yeah. NX, which is Rexio's team, but Rexio wasn't there and not many people were. It was basically just Simba and a few of us. You know, it's Ghost Town. I think I can do this. I'm gonna ignore the loading symbol in the corner, just go. Just fucking go before it crashes my game. We didn't really know what we were doing, Ghost Town. You know, our previous day we'd fucking done this dumb strat where we turtled in a corner basically, and we got this side and we were like, you know, we'll just do that. Cool. Yum, yum. Because our side is boring, I'll show you what the other side did. Their CS went up, you know, he sat there in B1, B2, like he doesn't see anything, cool. And he'll crawl up one line now, or down one line even. Right, this fucking ordering system is shit. He'll catch out the E4 who sat on the ramp here. Really, I think the E4 RBRTs in and then fucks up because RBRTing E4. He has another shot as well. I'm like, wait, what? Did he just? Oh yeah, he gets pinned by someone else. And then they full push basically. They full push because they've got 4 tanks. I bounced like so much of my clip on this guy's turret. It was fucking 50p. How? Yeah, we melt. Someone reload. This guy's on reload. E4's healthy. One, the other one isn't. It's just a mess. We've lost a tank for a tank. Okay, cool. Their 57's low, but we're like, we can't do much with that. With the 50, that guy just took an E4 round. I know that for a fact. Just because he was on 1600 before, you know. I think what happened was I shot this CS. It doesn't matter too much because it's like, what do we do now? Nothing. On reload, dead, easy. It also helps that like the CS is just completely out of position. He gets ruined, but it's still a defeat in the end because of, well, because of a few shots here or there, and people getting just bad coordination when it comes to like micro and stuff like that. Like 50B would peek forwards, 57 can't get shots because of that, and it's silly stuff. Speed up because the positioning isn't too much important. Zap goes down to this corner, their CS goes to this corner, and we're like, oh okay, that's interesting. And I'm thinking this, there must be still more stuff in the back or something because there's no way he's just there on his own. Lo and behold, pink E4 and an unskinned 57. Maybe I'll count on my 57 as well. I don't know. All you know is this guy's gonna have a bad time because the CS is a decent enough position. This guy's in a decent enough position as it is right now, but once people go around, get shots, different story. There's a weird thing here. It's one of those rare instances of, I guess it's weird lighting. Like, I peek out, my driver lights the, my guy lights this, but I don't get spotted in return. Like, I just light his gun or something. It's weird. He just eats 2 rounds, which happens. He gets pinned here, basically, but the upside is we kill their CS. So, use a KHP. Gain a tank. Doesn't really work out properly. Batch, the 50B and the T57 will rotate up here, because we're like, maybe we can push on them. But we're not quite sure. Because we haven't really spotted most of the tanks. The 50Bs, we don't know where they are. Until just about, like now, where we see, well, there's one 50B here, okay, well, one's over there with him, or somewhere else. I know about this guy will overpeak in a second, but sadly, like, not enough. Because I was like, okay, we're like, okay, well, peek over, kill the E4, and I'm like, okay, yeah, can't see anything. Trying to shoot a guy who's behind a dead tank corpse is really awkward. I'm nearly, like, done with my reload too, pretty much, by the time I get around this corner. Like 4 seconds left, I think. I'm like, cool, dude. I think reload's really fast, but That guy just went for me, because why not? Now it's like a 2v1 basically, because I thought I had more HP than I did. And it turns out I didn't, because, yeah, I thought I was like, oh, I had enough for one more shot, so I thought, oh, I'm able to do this. And left with one shot instead. That just gets tracked so much here. Like, he's just trying to get out so he can just do something. Otherwise he'd want to finish this guy, but he doesn't really have a chance. It's a building, which is annoying. He gets tracked again here, I think. Which is insane, and he's just like, yeah, I'm dead. 5v5 just removes so much, like, leeway. You know, like, you don't have the extra 2 tanks of HP and just vision. So they're like, okay, death ball it. Every match just death ball this and then rotate around when people least expect it. Let's speed forward. Basically, you just go here. Like, we have some people back here. We have 2 tanks or 3 tanks here. And I'm like, alright, I'll just go straight across. What the fuck? Dubbed his whole clip. Man dubbed his whole clip. I don't think he hit anything either. No, he didn't. He dubbed his whole clip and he hit nothing. Alright. I'm sat here just trying to peek to get some ever so slight vision, you know, just... Yeah, we only should put one into the CS, and then... What we need to do then... Sorry, not into the CS, into the Valor. What we need to do then was just not peek, pretty much. But, yeah, I don't know. That's hard. I guess that's just hard. There's one person here peeks and he loses HP when the shot that flew over. And we've already lost HP off this Valor, this machine, which is rad. I didn't lose any HP. Mainly, I think that's because he peeked up the top. Just, I don't know. Like, stop peeking like that. And then it's just pretty much a wait fest. For now, I'm just gonna switch to Zap. So he's the only one who moves, pretty much. Like, I spend my entire time peeking my cupola over just to spot. Nothing else. Because there was really no need to. Like, peek anything else over, you get penned. You know, you can't really make any rush. Because anyone who pushes over this side doesn't really have an advantage. Because if you push this side... What? Why is it so fast? Whatever. I suppose just it's influenced by the speed of the game. That's fucked. I have no idea what he's shooting. Because gameplay is bugged. The thing I am certain of is that it takes a really long time for stuff to go, because we're like, okay, yeah, they're moving up, and we think they're gonna YOLO. They don't YOLO. We're like, okay, cool. We got 2 guys here. I spotted the STB multiple times. Like, okay, that guy's doing stuff. We try a low ground shot, and nothing really comes of it. Okay. A lot of waiting. So I'm sat here max speeding right now. It's like the DPM of the CS is really bullshit. Like, just the DPM, the fact it can bounce a lot too. It doesn't have amazing armor, but it has good enough or ricochet armor that it's like Progetto upper plate essentially, with some turret armor too. Here we actually have some shots going on here, so we're like, okay, cool. Push some shots into them, and he gets lit by the CS, presumably, for that bush there. Not exactly easiest to see. I don't know why it's true vision as well. That's the weird thing. This mode is like true vision. Like, for some reason the replay mode is in true vision. It's so weird. I guess it's like I guess it's just a bit simplicity.
The enemy knows our location.
At this point, it's looking like they're gonna push, because we're like, you know, they're not gonna sit here. Lo and behold, they push. I light them when I make the peak next. I'm like, yeah, they're pushing. So I sort of, I think I bounced one of my rounds, or maybe two. I'm not too sure. It was that I basically whiff a round or two, and then I clip out this guy, Valor, who, like this guy here. Clip him out. Like, okay, cool, nice damage, and that pencil guy. I'm like, well, that's me for the entire game. I'm just sat here wiggling. And I don't know, I guess they were just RBRTing me or something. I went to get overbeat, but I lasted longer than they should have, so these guys just got farmed harder. Zap will move in as well, because he's been firing this entire time, just putting shots in the rear, which, unlike a T100, you can't really ignore that. This guy's 1k, you know. It was requested, like, you know, he'd shoot the Valor, shoot the QL, but Zap couldn't shoot this QL, so he just shoots, you know, he shoots the Valor, who's easier to shoot, and get that damage out. You know, at least you can shoot and put something in a 1. And, you know, a Cran Band on a hill. Yeah. It's funny because we're like, oh, you know, like, you know, I'm like, you know, it's fine, you know, he won't beat you. like the dude fires, just, it's funny, just some of the things that happen, like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna die before, you know, this, like, before I get reload out. I'm like, okay, yeah, but you're not gonna die. And then, right, just fucking plows the dude full HP and just knocks his shot off. Saves him. Boom. The Hammers guy, he played one match and he had to get off because his comms were just, like, you disconnect every 2 seconds because Xbox out. So it's just the same 5 people playing.
Our mission is to capture and hold the marked objective. Let's do it.
It's the same thing again. We just picked Valos this time. We picked a Valo and Cran. Actually, 2 Valos, Cran, I think it was. Someone for some reason put Cam on this Valo because sure. I don't know how long this match lasts. 7 minutes. I mean, when a match lasts over 5 minutes, it's usually going to be pretty awkward. I peaked a bit too high here, but that's because I was looking for a shot. I was like, maybe one of the CSs, you know, like something will give me a shot, maybe. Oh, I just don't like how that zooms in and out. They're all 5 of the tanks there. You can see them just chilling. I've heard the radio range on the spectator camera is like nothing. I guess that's what's going on there. I don't know. We had our hello. Yeah, we had a CS sitting back here as well. He was just there, like he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna sit here, see if I can light the light tank." You know, spot him. I'm like, "Okay, maybe you will, maybe you won't. I'm not too sure." But you know, somehow catch him. Shot goes into him, and then okay, nice. Another shot. Really slow and methodical game because nothing really happens over this side for a while. A lot of rocking backwards and forwards too, it seems. Hey, he did. It's weird. He said something about like seeing like a shot or shot tracer fly from like this bush here. I was like, okay then. And then yeah, they send CS here. And we're like, okay, it's weird, but okay. You know, I get we get what you're trying. We see another CS. It's like okay, odd. You know, we're like, well, we have an overmatch on this north side, but we weren't quite there to stack. Okay, we were taking way too long. So we were sneaking up, like, you know, We had to wait for this one to come along, and that's the issue with like having split valors. Just waiting for them to group up so you can push properly. I want to go the right direction. Yeah. Invisible tanks. So awkward. So like, well, okay, cool. You know, we're also waiting to see if we can get vision on these guys, because we don't know where they're coming from. We just don't know. We're sounding like, well, they're probably not going to go mid. Maybe they've regrouped their heavies, they go, because we saw that the 2 tanks are there, whatever. We were just like, well, okay, if you get a guy like here, then that should sort of prevent this from happening, but I guess the ping was confusing. Zeb gets out of there because he was like, oh, found them. The pain, like the delay, there we go, okay, yeah, now the valors are pushing. One pushes low end to top side, and then the other one, well, the other one just potters along the back. And somehow bleeds the most. I don't know how, like, I lost so little HP when I was, I went this way, and I was like, okay, yeah, they can't really shoot me too much, and I'll take, like, a shot here. And, lo and behold, like, that's just 2 valors. You know, it's just 3 tanks versus 2, that's not too interesting. What's interesting here is how this played out. Because it's a 2v3, and it went really well. Like, Malar gets put a 1. The CS tries to go far right, and no, it doesn't go well for him. No. Malar's dead. Not too sure what happened to that shot. There we go. Pen shot. You know, healthy. One shot. He has a 2 shot, and then they switch by this Valor. We just see 1.5k HP Valor, full HP thing. Cool. Death. I still don't understand like how he got double peaked for free. I think apparently like both the Valors were just rolling over and peeking him for free, and I'm like, okay, but you could have just stuck with me more. I don't know. Yeah, no surprise. 57 heavy again. It's doing really in our favor. You know, our CS went back down to J0, just H0 basically, and you know, we tried to do what we did last time, but better. Basically, that's why we were like, you know, we were like, okay, we try this, but better. See what we can do better, and see if we can play better. I think we dropped out an E4 for a 50B as well. I can't quite remember. But basically, we were like, you know, whatever. We had AB line being watched by 50B. You know, CS is down there. And then these 2 went this way, which I'm... Every time I see someone peek, if, like, I don't know, he peeks twice in this, I'm like, I don't know, like, don't do that, just like, here or something, or just don't, I look this side, because I'm like, okay, I'll just stare this side. And so we're sat there like, well, what is there? Oh, look, you know, a heavy tank. As Zap is on rotation, because he's like, you know, I think they're probably going to be on the other side. Okay, cool. RE4 is all the way up here, you know, they have to push into this. Okay, cool. My 57 has shots on this, I'll finish the 50B. You know? The E4 as well, he blind fire, well, he shoots me, but he doesn't pen me because he hits a fucking spaced armor truck. Because those things are ridiculously good at bouncing things. I think, yeah, and half of Ghost Town is destroyed in a clip. Wow, that was... Can I go back there a second? Which was like a skip, like a minute, not 30 seconds, but... Like... So 50B gets shot, we kill 150, kill 150. And then we put shots in, and then they just sat there like trying to shoot tiny tracks, and they just destroy the building in the end. It's like, okay, cool, we just wasted 4 shots. It's actually hilarious that worked. That's like, that's ridiculous. I got around this side thinking it would take longer for them to do that because they're all funneled into one corner, but these guys effectively peek. In this case, of like, oh, they're jumping and trying to bomb each other. So messing with the burnt tank corpses. There's that time so much focus while I was going on, that's what these pings are. It's just like get turned on basically because we were like, oh, finally, they're YOLOing this because I guess they must have thought, oh, they're just gonna tow, and then they YOLO this. Somehow they didn't decide. I don't know what they did with thinking there. They just decided not to spot anything or be cautious or anything. They just straight YOLO'd into that, and they try to go for an E4 who just reverse and get teammates to fire for him. First demos were like, yikes, is basically how I describe that. Yikes. Describing it like, there's just, it was messy because of a lot of things. Like, we picked him or stuff. This is our pick, we were hosting. And we just, we don't know, we were pretty, not confident, but pretty calm about it. We were like, oh yeah, we'll just do our usual sit on the 3 line or something. We had north. I don't know what that ping was for, because that wasn't used. There was no reason to put anything there, because the IS-7 was going to go here, which is briefly what I did, but we never needed to do that really. Batchat goes to spot 5 line. I think he does spot some tanks. Can't remember what. 50B here. E4 is coming along to try and get 2 here, I think. 50B goes here. And of course, IS-7 is just plotting along trying to get to here. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's a 50B on hill. I didn't quite like this play because it's like 50B on hill. We don't know how much. We don't know if that 50B could just been YOLO for free. It was a bit risky, but it worked, I guess. We got intel that they had tanks up there. And more get lit, and we're like, okay, so all of their team are pretty much there. It doesn't show it properly on the replay, but there were more tanks than that lit. And we're like, okay, well, we stick 2 guys in cap, and then we'll have everyone sort of come in. Batcheck can go down here, whatever. Visible tanks again. I don't know why it just does that. And we're like, okay, we'll take this, make sure they don't come down south, etc., etc. And it doesn't work. Like, no shocker, right? No, just like absolute shock, horror. I was like, well, maybe they'll come from north to try and surprise us and try and push everything. No, when we're like this, and we could have tucked him more that way. We didn't though, because I was like, yeah, I don't know. We just didn't, and we got HE'd. Like there, and it splashes both of us, because 50B side is weak as hell, and IS-7 is a pike nose, so he goes really far forward. So it resets both of us, I'm like, well, shit, okay. That was awkward. The Kyo's just sat there staring down through this train, shoots through the train, which I wish I was skilled enough to shoot through trains like that. I don't know, I never really have time to shoot through trains in this map. But lo and behold, shoot through a train. And it's like, okay, great. So we have cap again. Woo. What are we doing? Nothing. All right, cool. Fast forward. Oh, look, a 50B. Pretty sure that's not ours either. Oh, look, another 50B. That's also not ours either. Hmm. And, there's still guys down here. I don't know what the pings are. Oh, I think it's like this. Oh, yeah, the Superconk is down there or something stupid like that. At that point, maybe the E4 should have just been elsewhere. Like, I don't know, like maybe the E4 shouldn't have been over there. Maybe C4 should be like here or something. Like here. I don't know. I just, when we have that much, maybe we should just have the E4 by the other side. At least then it can do the cap out. Well, it can't do the cap out, but like it can cover the cap out. Because here it was sort of alone. We'll get reset here again. A 50B gets melted by this. Just, I mean, he got the clip out, I guess, but not quite. Just focus their 50B and it's just like, okay, cool. What do we have left? Not much. Not much at all. Zaps on, bugger all HP. This Valor's a 2-shot, and that sort of gives us hope, because we're like, okay, we have an E4 still, who's on like 600. We have a fucking, 50B who's half HP. The IS-7 is mostly healthy, Can I just switch to... I think it's already happened. That's a shame. Like Magna crossed. It was really weird. It was like Magna crossed. He crossed here, and then he reverses back for some fucking reason. I see his ass, and it misses, and I get shot, and it tracks me and does nothing. So it's like, okay. I get here because, yeah, like, well, obviously you're gonna peek when you see it. There's a nice, Valor on the other side. Like you just have to go to the window to see what they're doing. We have the, we try and have the 50B go up here and stuff and get around. I'm not too sure. Because we're like, oh yeah, this is a winnable game still. We kind of forgot about the Super Conqueror being full HP, but it was a winnable game. We're sort of like, this guy's a 2-shot. QL, we don't even know, but like half HP maybe? And we're sort of like, okay, winnable. But... Because we only first know of a QL when he gets lit by our Valor. Not by Valor, by... he doesn't get lit until, like, after this guy goes, like, here, I think. We see the cap, so we think, okay, what's that? It's one tank. Conk, maybe? And then boom, that gets lit. Because I light him, because I'm like, okay, cool, but... E4 YOLOs, skunk. This should be a fairly simple situation, right? Take a round, aim a shot, kill, easy. Gets tracked by that, and then he gets tracked by that, whiffs his shot. What's the name? I put a single shot into the E4, but that's all I have. Valor. And yeah, he dies now. It's like if he'd have just pushed, like, okay, yeah, he would have died if both of those shots ended the first time, but. Whatever. And of course, Magna goes on the outside, which fucks us on our terrible, terrible plays. At this point, we're like, okay, yeah, we're basically dead. Because we can't do anything, Could get this guy out. We could get the one-shot Valor. The one-shot Valor is not going to be doing much P like that, though. And the QL is got all the time in the world to wait. And even that. So it's pretty much just GG at this point. Like... And like full HP Superconk as well. It's a mess. And it wasn't just because, if the E4 got the shot, like if the 50B had come round earlier, because it was discussed, maybe you go banana and get shots down that guy. earlier when he was originally spotted, and I could push him with it, and then we could kill it at the same time, but instead it was like, you know, this happens. That was far too late. 500 row, nice and normal. 559. And dies. Because, yeah. Like, timing, basically. Just timing. You know, some mistakes, some bounce shots. Some lost HP, some questionable plays. You get punished for being an idiot, basically. It's funny because we had a lot of, we still have the losers bracket to do next, or I suppose the bronze medal is what they called it. That's going to be next Saturday. That'll probably be streamed. It'll probably be like, I don't know, 1 versus. I haven't checked the thing. It'll probably be 1 versus this team, which, okay, yeah, struggling to get down a hill. Feels good. Right, Graver's nothing normal. There we go. It's weird because we spot the Supercut E1 and we're like, okay, he's here. What the hell? That sounds pretty boring. It's like, oh, do the same thing. Yeah, he gets there for free because our bat. We don't even have a bat chat this time. That's the reason. Not too sure why that's going on there. Okay. Oh yeah, we took hill. It's weird, we took hill for free, and just, like, we didn't even have any use for it, because they're all tucked in this position here, apart from one guy who's tucked in here, so it's like, okay, cool. That's just random things saying, like, you know, they're probably here. And then I say there's one guy here, and stuff like that. Well, wizarders anyway. And so it's sort of like, oh yeah, so we sort of know their locations, but we don't know. Like, we know there's someone tucked in here in this sort of area, not in this, you know. So like, okay, we know where they are. What's our next move? And oh yeah, I think that's the Valor. He goes for the mid. He gets shot in the side for it, I think. Like, I don't know. I don't think I would have gone for the mid in a Valor that effectively. Like, I would have just gone banana road. Doesn't really matter too much. I rotate out as well because I'm in QL. I'm like, okay, well, I can just go as well then, because they're not going to push this side. You know, they're going to push 1-2. There's really no need to sort of stay there when we can just stack the other side and try and win that instead. But I don't know. There's just the classic fucking trip of, yeah, just trap of just falling into like, oh well, we can, you know, we can go this side instead then, and then we can push this, and it's like, well, like, not that easy, because obviously they can pull this guy out here and E4 wherever he is and stuff like that. V4 just rotates back as well, which is kind of spicy. But it's not the only spicy thing that happens. Actually, wait, no, that's the other match. This match just goes horribly wrong. The final match is like, I don't know, it's like you're just being gifted like the game and it's still flowing. There's birds here, fuck off. I just hear birds, like, cawing. Get the Q up here, and for whatever reason it takes our E4 like 10 years to just run away. Even though he could just like, he was here the entire time. He's like, oh, but I might get like spotted on the cross, and we're like, there's no one here. Like, there's no one here. You know, the enemy's here and whatever else. You can just cross. It's like, oh, I don't know. Like, just go for the awkward fine. Just go for some awkward buildings then. Oh my god, birds. So many birds. I can just hear them. Ambient setting. Like on Westfield when I was playing that today, I heard artillery sound like a straight like normal M53, 55 sort of like artillery sound, and I was like, what? Like completely bamboozled. I was on the game where we did 0 damage and neither did the enemy. We're like, well, we can push now. So we try and time it properly, you know. Try and be a professional. So I like, okay, well, you know, this guy can go here at the same time, and then you know, the Valor can go with him. The Valor is somewhere. Yeah, there's the Valor. And then boom, we're like, okay, yeah, sure. Valor eats an 840 round, cool. And then like, oh, there's 250Bs here. You know, like no surprise really. But we're like, okay, he shoots that, then sure. Gets 2 shots then. Try and reverse, and then we sort of fuck each other. He dies, but at the cost of Big Pony. So it's still a 4-4. We have more people who are half HP at this point. It's like, okay, great. You know, we're thinking, okay, well the 50Bs are on clip because they've dumped half clip into me and the other guy, and that's all the damage we've taken. It's like, oh, they have more. They have more. You know, like, what? Where? Where did you get more ammo from? We weren't counting the shells, really. We were just like, yeah, we just eaten, like, a clip and a half. We shouldn't be able to have any issues there. I think that's fear crossing over the flank. Wait, is he actually holding the shot? I don't think he is, but... No. I hope not. And then, yeah. Like, the 50Bs reload. The Valor is in an awkward position, and I'm sat here like, well, I can't really peek that too well. You know, they've got this guy to my left, I've got these guys to my right. This guy's dead, most likely. Like, maybe the 50B can get shots in. But at what cost? And then at this point it's GG. Because the match ends. Because, yeah, timer play. And the RNG was with the team I'm on. For some reason the RNG was with us, not with the enemy. You don't usually have that. Usually it's like, oh, okay. You know, XYZ team bled more, and that's why they, you know, lost their HP, whatever. You know, they played badly and stuff like that. It's like this one's like, oh, no. It's just RNG keeping one team floating while the other one just doesn't. It's really fucky. Because our game plan is incredibly basic. We're like, we're just gonna YOLO the 8 line. All of us. And yeah, we just YOLO the 8 line because we're like, well, we're probably not gonna catch them out completely anyway, but maybe we'll catch some of them out, you know? And I mean, it always works. We have shots on these 50Bs. It's not a terrible bleed on either side. I have to cross, but I lost speed because track, stuff like that. Track absorb there, which is mainly lucky for me. And of course we keep the evil back here because that means there's at least a second angle. We expect the match to YOLO and clip him the arse though, which he does. Although he wasn't there at the time when that happened. because thanks Wargaming for designing a perfect and completely not broken replay system. Yeah, we came round, and we had like uber shots. You know, this E4 was bouncing a lot of shots, and then suddenly, bonk, Amarak. Like, as some sort of weird karma for us bouncing so many shots of fucking E4, instant Amarak on him. I was like, oh, nice. Our E4's been murdered by a bat chat in the meantime, but whatever. You know, whatever. Doesn't really matter too much. This guy crosses the worst time possible. He should have just gone this side. Like, it's like, I'm gonna go out in the open. Okay, see you another round then. I got a high roll there as well. I just noticed that. It was 620 for my gun. And I was like, oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, they're bad shots as they're watching. And this is where the first mistake, I think, comes into play, really. Problem is, I'm not too sure when exactly. It's fun. So I'm saying, like, okay, right. You know, like, surely, you know, this guy here who's in the 50 beat, he's probably going to move now, right? He's probably going to go, like, this way or just anywhere? Just anywhere, you know? Like, well, you know, there's clearly not going to be anything here. Like, I should stop peeking this angle is what I'm thinking this entire time. And we're like, well, we should just stack up. And there's a bit of a dispute because it's like, ooh, we could all hide now and run away and, you know, sit in a corner somewhere, which is dumb. And then the moment I move, 50B gets lit and just gets away because I moved. If I sat there pre-aiming like normal, it would have been fine, but the moment I moved. I do that? No, it doesn't. I was hoping I can maybe get, like, I don't know, part of the hood back. What the okay, that's an interesting spot. Guess lower plate's still a weak spot, but weird. Anyone who's got a single damage track is like, oh, yep, and now I'm gonna fucking inform you of this. We're still deciding what we're doing. Like, we've lost complete initiative now. And when you know a bat chat is coming down this side, and like I sort of know this because what else is a bat chat gonna do on this map? You know. He could stack up with me and go 5-line later, but he's probably just going to go down this side of the map and make sure something retarded doesn't happen, like people sitting in a corner at the back of the map. It's funny because at the time we're like, oh, how did the bat chat kill you? Yeah. Question answered. Oops. Like, penned up a plate? Yeah. That's lower plate time, really. Those are all lower plate shots. Alright, cool. You said they were upper plate, but I guess they were either client-sided or something stupid. I'd gone up to here because I was like, maybe I can catch the maybe I can catch the bat chat out before he does that. And nope. Because that wasn't lighted. None of that was lit. Just this game being shit. And from here on, we have like the biggest throw of all time because I didn't want to do this. Like, I didn't want to sit here in a corner. But they were like, oh, we'll sit in a corner because that way we have, you know, we'll have the advantage. We'll have, like, you know, we can at least win this game. And it's like, yeah, but they could still cap. Yeah, but maybe we can reset. Like, okay, cool, but not really. Not really. And so, and we have more HP as well. So it's like, okay, we'll just sit here and pre-aim. How boring. Wow. We also had a fire earlier too. We had a fire, a full Amarak. And some high rolls, so it's like, okay, you know, like the damage is with us, the RNG is with us, but you know, do we need to? Not above they jump on the cap. I'm like, yeah, look, we can do this, and they could actually physically do this. They could just sit on cap right now, you know, not waste time. But their bat chat is low, and I don't know, like the moment you see a teammate get farmed just for free here, like 3 shots, and like, do you really want to keep at this angle? Do you really want to keep here? You know, Like, okay, yeah, you know, in a slightly better position tucked in here, but only slightly. And a second Zap will make a suggestion that I go here as well, and it's kind of weird. Because then I go there, and then it's the worst time possible. Like, the reaction at time was like, oh, how did the Batchat get there? And I'm like, you guys realize you actually have to be spotting that side to, like, do that, and then he loses the train with a Batchat. Madness. Like, this, like, I don't know, like, should you be peeking, should you not? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I'm told like, oh yeah, we should, you should maybe go here, QL, and maybe you can get something. I'm like, okay, cool. And then, oh look, that's great timing, great timing. And then, oh look, another one. Ah. Basically, if you're gonna turtle like an absolute, no, just don't fucking turtle when you're like up tanks. It's in the hills, like the initiative was there. It just everyone was like, oh, we're gonna sit in a corner now. Okay. If we'd have pressed immediately afterwards, we probably could have ruined them, but we didn't. We just let them run away. And the fucking birds suddenly started to hate Himmelsdorf. Oh yeah, the Batshot comes back and finishes him for free. Because, okay, then, oh look, you know, like, Valak, you know, Bat, thing comes in, boom, dead. It's this weird, like, 1v2, but guess what? Like, you're not going to have enough HP. He tries ramming him, he can running, he bounces a shot too. Like, the 50B gets him low, but it can't kill him, and he gets tracked. So he can't ram him. And then he gets clipped, as well as everything else, so it's like... like, really? Really? I don't know, like, you can be given the RNG, so it isn't, you know, you're given that RNG and you can still lose. It's just kind of silly. And it was silly at the time because, like, you know, the initial play was great. It was like, oh yeah, cool, we've caught them out. We've managed to get a lot of damage in because they weren't expecting this. Oh look, like, the follow up is terrible. Like, just, oh, we've run away. Okay, cool, bye. It's so dumb.